When I was a bit younger, I used to go to City Hall. There used to be a father of faith whose name was Kayo. And I would go there and I would sit on the last seats there and I would watch Kayo. So one time I had a privilege. I was coming from Rwanda, and then I met him at he used to like going to the hotel Stanley, and he would sit there. So I entered Stanley, and then I saw him. He used to remove his coat and put it on the seat, and Kayo was very clean, always with a tie in his CG80s. So I sat down and I met him. I said, "Excuse me, sir." Those days I said, "My name is so and so. I just want you to know that I appreciate your service, and I want to pay for the tea." Now, what I didn't do, sometimes it's good to study territories. I thought the tea, the value of the tea, if it goes too far, it's doing somewhere around 250 or 180. If it has gone too far, that means you are rich. He looked at me and he asked me one question. He said, "Sure." So that sure made me to say, "Give me a minute." And I went and I started perusing. When I saw, I said, "Hey." But what shocked me is that I had it because I had come from being given that money. And I saw him. And I told him, "I'm gonna bless you if you give me one opportunity to ask you about the past." So I sat with him and I told him, "Sir, I will pay this meal if you tell me how was revival back in those days." And you know, he was an old man, so he started saying, "Ugh." When you just hear an old man say, "Oh, prepare yourself, it will be a long answer." And then he brought me into the life of how he looked. I asked him a question. "Okay, now you have showed me the wins. I want you to be honest and tell me where you failed." You know, he was always eating. And then when I asked him, he ate at that time. When I asked him that question, he readjusted to look at me. I said, "I'm finished." I know he was an apostle. If you met Kayo, you would know. You can't talk about the apostolic without Kayo, the great. So he readjusted and looked at me. He stopped eating. He said, "Why would you ask me that?" I said, "I don't know. I just want to be better." Then he pointed and he says, "You are wise." He had a very deep, he said, "You are wise." And then he